Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dateable, a show all about modern dating. We've just entered into our 12th season, digging into the whys of people's behavior when it comes to modern dating, modern romance, modern sex, modern everything, as well as your own frickin' behavior. Why do you do the things that you do?
Why do you? That's the $1,000,000 question. But we have a behavioral scientist here with us today, Logan Yuri, who's going to explain exactly why we do the things we do and why why we're not finding why we're looking for things that are not what you actually need in a long-term partner. I think that's the theme of the episode.
And in addition to that, we learned a little bit about Logan's own life and some of the recent events that have completely shifted her relationship and her new marriage, I guess. I mean, she hasn't been married that long, but again, it's another great interview with her. We've had her on the show before. She is a fan favorite, and her book just released, and it's already topping the charts on Amazon and a bunch of other lists. So congratulations, Logan. You gotta listen to this episode because she just adds even more knowledge than the last time she was on.
Yeah, we're so excited that, first of all, someone in the Dateable fam published an amazing book. That is a huge accomplishment. And I think Logan, we've known her now for how long? 2 years? 2
years.
Yeah, and I think you actually call it out of this episode that she is now initiated as a Dateable regular, because between a couple episodes now, and we did a live show in San Francisco with her before shit hit the fan with COVID. She was kind of like our opener and she also interviewed us, which was super fun. And then she was on our recent sounding board event. So she's been with us a bit, and we're super excited people love this stuff. So we're excited to bring new knowledge in this episode.
It's a great follow-up to Connor Beaton. You know, you open with Connor and then you follow up with Logan. I don't know what's a better way to kick off the season. Actually, I do know a better way to kick off the season.
Oh, yes.
Our feature in the New York Times. What the fuck? We have this Google Alerts set up for us. And that morning I woke up, it was on Sunday. It was actually on Valentine's Day. I woke up and I got this Google alert. And usually it's about data science because Dateable as a Google alert. Usually it's some published paper in some, I don't know, in some magazine that I've never heard of. But this was in the New York Times and I screamed. I woke up so early that day. I don't know why. I was just I feel like I need to wake up early.
You did, because I woke up to a shit ton of text messages and I was like, oh my God, can you post this in the group? You're like, I've already posted it in the group, my personal, the Instagram, anywhere that you basically could think of. But it was amazing. I'm so glad that you saw that and had the alert. The New York Times, first of all, who even thinks that there's still an actual newspaper out? I thought that was amazing. We had one of our past guests, Amanda, she texted us. It was here's the actual photo of the newspaper.
I'm going to put all of this on YouTube because people need to see the visual representation of what we're talking about. But if you happen to get a copy of the New York Times, we were in the at-home section. The article is called Dating Podcast to Make You Feel Better About Your Love Life. And it has our picture.
I know. Seeing our photo under New York Times, even the digital, but I think just even in paper, even though we are in digital times, there's something about the analog of a newspaper. And it's funny. I was actually walking to Safeway. I was talking to my brother on the phone about it, and he is a New York Times subscriber. So he was cutting it out. He was putting it in a file cabinet so it's preserved, that he was going to mail it out to us. And that he's you could just buy a copy, it's available all day. And I'm like, that's a good idea. So I was walking to Safeway to pick up a cake for Chinese New Year's because I went to a friend's outdoor, and I'm like, I'm actually going. But I popped into this corner store on the way, and there was actually this really hot guy that was in there too. And I'm like, hey, do you guys sell newspapers? And the guys literally both laughed at me. I'm like, I guess not.
I guess it's they stopped doing this at corner shops and bodegas a few years ago. I went into my corner bodega and the guy was like, I haven't had a newspaper in here in 2 years. Suddenly they just stopped giving us newspapers. And he told me to try 7-Eleven. So if anybody's looking for actual newspapers that are timely, go to 7-Eleven or Safeway, I guess.
Yep,
That's where you found yours.
Safeway did not have Chinese New Year's cakes this year. I got this like beautiful one there last year, so that's why I was like thinking about it. I totally like fogged on the sense that it was Valentine's Day on Sunday. So I showed up at Safeway and literally like every single cake was Valentine's Day. So I ended up getting one with like red roses and just like having the guy write like Chinese New Year, but he was Chinese, so he wrote it and actually didn't look that bad.
Okay.
It was a makeshift Chinese New Year's cake.
That sounds like one of those things that, like, you get drunk and get a tattoo of Chinese characters on your arm. The next morning you wake up and you're like, what does this say? And your Chinese friend's like, it says bird shit or something, something like that.
That's what my friends were joking. They're like, he could have literally wrote anything.
Yeah.
It would have been like,
you're like, this looks fantastic.
He also had no idea what I was asking for at first. Like, I think he thought I was like trying to say like happy birthday or something to someone. He's like, what is this dumb white girl like asking me right this minute? But they ended up like, it was like they ended up pulling over someone that was more like English speaking. And then she was like, oh, do you actually want it written in Chinese? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So she like pulled the original guy back over. It was like a production, but got the New York Times, got the cake. So it was a win.
Check. You need to take a picture of that cake. I would love to see what his Chinese letters look like.
It's gone. It's eaten.
Damn it.
Actually, I think I might have taken a photo. I'll send it to you.
Okay, I hope you have a photo of it.
Yeah, he's like...
Our Chinese New Year's was a little bit different. We did not have cake, but my mom went to the local fish market and got fresh uni. That we watched a bunch of YouTube videos to see how we can crack it. I had no idea. Those things, like there seems to be like a hole in the middle that looks like an eyeball, and you put 2 spoons through the hole and then you crack it open.
Ooh.
It is disgusting. And inside there's maybe like 5 or 6 uni pieces. That's it. Everything else is just gush. It's disgusting. I'm like, I think I'd rather
not sound good at all.
No, like I'm never gonna crack my own uni. I'm just gonna get it at a restaurant when it's all beautifully plated.
There's some things that I'm like, I've tried to recreate cooking, and I'm like, I think this one needs to be saved for a restaurant dining experience.
Nope. Yeah. Yep. Not doing that again. But it was fun to crack through an eyeball.
Yeah. It was
with all the spikes.
I was out for dinner with some friends. A couple past Dateable guests too were there in the group. But one of my male friends, he's like the best PR rep, and I told him like we should hire him because like anytime like someone new is in the crowd, he's like, this is my celebrity friend. And this was even before the New York Times article came out. So if only this was a day after, it would have been like 10 times. I'm like, can I just have you like follow me around San Francisco and like introduce me to everyone this way? Because it's like the best way for new listeners too. All these people are like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. So
we're just so not good at self-promo.
So bad.
If you listen to our previous episodes, we've talked about this too. We always have other people promoting us for us, which is great, but we need to learn how to do that ourselves too. Like this New York Times feature is a huge accomplishment. I'm going to take a moment to say, I don't like to say we're deserving, because I don't think anybody's deserving of anything, but we work damn hard. And I'm like, super proud of us because this was not something we expected. We did not ask for it. We did not go out and reach out to the writer for it. It came out of the blue, and it was such a nice surprise, and I'm so fucking proud of us.
But it's our community. Like, she was actually in our Facebook group, and Shieldy, one of our hosts that is in our community, she was like, you guys work your asses off, and like, this is so well deserved. You've built this community, you've built all these friendships. Like, I think this is like beyond. I really actually was so grateful of the way the writer wrote this up too, because a lot of times people will just copy and paste our like our description, which is fine. We're not going to complain ever, but I loved how like thoughtful this one was. And she said something at the end that I think needs to actually be in our description and like the way we describe this podcast, that we're essentially on a mission that makes everyone feel deserving and dateable. Like, we're not like, like people are here. Like, we really truly believe that all of you that listen are dateable, and being dateable again does not relate to your relationship status. So even like if you are feeling like alone and single, like that does not mean that you're not dateable. There's nothing wrong with you per se.
Yeah, that line made me cry because it resonated with our values that we haven't really put into words. And that's why we do what we do. This community really drives that purpose for us. And it just gives us ammunition to keep going with with these values that we're living by. So thank you again to the community for helping us manifest this. This is just a huge accomplishment for us. And I think it's just going to kick off even more grand things coming for all of us in this new year, including the most dateable competition.
Oh my God. I cannot wait. First of all, like, I just want to, okay, so Yue and I split out a lot of the efforts that go into Dateable because there's a lot of stuff that goes up behind the scenes. But I just want to commend you because I feel like you have done an amazing job just being like the front runner organizer of this event. And also I love just like how alive you get when it comes to planning these events. Like I could tell how much you just like truly love it. I'm like, she is just like loving every minute of even like the setup and the rehearsals and all that. So I think it's like you definitely very much shine with these types of events.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie. You know what I love about these things is like we get to know a little bit of someone, a little bit of something new about someone in our community. And we get to see these different sides of them, including the talent competition, the Q&A. It's just fun getting to know people on a different level. And everyone has expressed that they're feeling uncomfortable, which I love. And once we get past that comfort, that's when we grow, that's when we change. And all 6 contestants are like, I'm just a little bit uncomfortable with this, with what I'm doing and putting myself out there, but fucking good for you, right? All 6 of them. I'm so proud of all 6 of them.
Yeah, I am too. I cannot wait to see this. I think it's going to be so fun. Like these types of competitions are really fun. There's been one in San Francisco for years that's happened. I mean, not this year, obviously, with COVID. They totally should have made it virtual though, by the way, but whatever. They can hire the thunder. Yeah, we're stealing the thunder this year. But I think these events, like they're meant to be like silly and goofy. Like obviously it's not like everyone's dateable, even if you did not get selected to be in this, but it's just really fun. And it's really meant to be lighthearted and to come out and support your fellow community members. So hopefully all of you can join. Like this is an event that's open to the public. Like it is one of our sounding board events, but usually it's required to be a member. But this one, we're letting anyone join. So you can get your tickets at dateablepodcast.com/events. And I love the 3 judges that were secured too. Can we talk about them for a second? Because this is going to make this event even more fun.
Well, you know that my girl crush, Mei Lee, my girl, is on the panel. She is a renowned journalist and also someone I want to be when I grow up, hopefully even half as awesome as she is. She was on our season finale for season 11 on Can You Have It All? And she will be one of the judges.
Yep. And then we also have Misha Byreich, who is one of our crowd favorites. If for anyone that remembers The Art of Virtual Sex, this was in season 10 and he had a very seductive voice. And we're super excited to hear that as he, like critiques the different contestants.
And our third and final judge is all about schemas. You guys remember schemas? I need to stop singing. If you guys tell me that I need to stop singing in the reviews, I will know.
Keep singing. Keep singing. Get ready for the most dateable. I want to hear you introduce the judges in the singing voice.
I don't know what's come of me. I normally don't do that. Dr. Abigail Lev, she is going to be the therapy representative for the judges panel, asking questions that go a little bit deeper to help you self-reflect and for us to uncover true colors.
I really feel like this is the most like perfect panel ever. Like all 3 of them have such different perspectives. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
And for anyone who's coming new to our podcast, you're like, what the hell is the most dateable competition? Think of it as a co-ed pageant, but that's more exciting than your traditional pageant. It's all virtual. We have 3 different competitions within that night. The first one is going to be a most dateable showcase. You'll learn more about that at the show. Second stage is going to be talent. And third is Q&A with the judges, where the contestants have not seen or heard the questions that the judges are going to ask. And then at the end, we crown one person as most dateable 2021.
Love it. Love
You.
it. So yeah, maybe a couple quick announcements before we get into it, because there's been so much interesting stuff, but we obviously want to get to the good stuff with Logan. Just a couple quick announcements. We're doing something new that every month we're going to kind of do like a community member of the month.
Yes.
Someone that exhibits the true qualities of what it means to be dateable, whether that's, committing to your own self-growth and us seeing that through like the types of posts you put up in the community, or the questions you're asking at happy hours or sounding board events, all of that. And then also supporting others like in the community, and like not just saying like, oh, he sucks or she sucks, but like really like digging in and like helping people get to what's going on for them and offering a diverse perspective that kind of lets people be like, what about this way? Our first ever community member of the month is Sonia Panich.
Woo! Sonia.
And yeah, Sonia, honestly, she was like a clear winner in my mind. I just feel like I saw her like comment about things that she learned in the schemas workshop from the sounding board. And I'm like, wow, she's like really moving this stuff forward. And it was changing how she like evaluated things. So yeah, just overall, she also posted about master dating, our favorite term of basically doing solo dates. And she did like a wine tasting trip to Sonoma. And she like
fun.
really inspired a ton of people and was like, you know what? Like, it's not weird. Like, people think it's going to be weird, but no one looked at me weird. And then when they did, I just started conversation with them, and like all was forgotten that I was on my own. And, I obviously want a partner, but I'm not going to just sit around and not have fun while I don't have one. And that's the best attitude.
I love that, Sonia. And all of our members that we're going to profile are pioneers. I'm going to call them dating pioneers, because we're throwing the rules out the window. We're saying no to the old traditions and creating your new traditions and new norms. Like, who cares in the past this was not okay, or people will look at you funny or judge you for this? It doesn't even matter anymore. It's your life. And these are the members who are pioneering their own dating ways and their own life, and good for them. And we can't wait to feature even more of our members who are paving their own path.
It's so funny because in the last episode with Logan, we had this whole phrase like date like a scientist, like trying to figure stuff out. And you and I were actually talking to a member of the sounding board the other day, and this concept came up of date like a podcaster. And I think there's both, right? They both work in different ways, but date like a podcaster is ask a lot of questions, don't make assumptions, get curious, like all of that. So kind of bring your scientist hat and your podcaster hat, and that's like a great way to become the, community member of the month.
It's like, what would Julie and Yue say? What would Julie and Yue do in this situation?
That was a good segue to our merch contest, because we encouraged we'll give him a shout out, Sakib. We encouraged Sakib to submit that to the merch contest. We did a contest, a crowdsourced merch contest in the Facebook group, the Love in the Time of Corona, the public group. And this idea came from Jasmine. So I want to give Jasmine a shout out too for coming up with the idea. But as you all know, we launched our merch shop, dateablepodcast.com/shop, back in November. Yeah, it was like right before Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And there was this idea of like, hey, can the community come up with like sayings to put on merch, and we can all vote? And then yeah, we decided to actually do the contest, and basically people submitted all their ideas and people could upvote on the ones they liked the best. There actually ended up being a tiebreaker between I'm Dateable, Are You? And then the winner that we ended up choosing. And the winner actually will get a piece of merch with their saying. So they'll get to pick what they want, and we'll print them for other people too. Anyone that entered the contest will get a promo code, but anyone that, didn't enter, that just wants to buy the merch, like it will be public for everyone. So should we announce the winner? I know we announced it in the Facebook group, but can we give a little drum roll? I feel like you're good at that. So the drum roll winner it went to Ryan Jeffrey. And
Ryan.
His saying was, own your baggage, don't just carry it around. So yeah, I love it. I love it. People are just really like that one. So we will be putting it on. I could totally see that as like a luggage sticker, or like a sticker for your luggage.
That's a good idea. Or it should go on top of a suitcase.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be some suitcase tie-in with it, but I could see it on like a hat or something too. There's many ways that this
Or a
one could
backpack.
work. Yeah, backpack. Oh
That'd
yeah.
be cool. Duffel bag or backpack.
Yeah.
I
So
love it. Yes.
we will be creating the merch in the upcoming weeks, and we'll let you all know when it's available on the store, but you can get everything else. I know the socially distant yet emotionally available one has been flying off the shelves, especially after last week's episode. So Ryan, actually, the same person that won the contest, he sent us a photo of him in the airport wearing this sweatshirt with like 10 masks and a face shield. So it was a good look.
Goggles.
Goggles.
I think the goggles really made that outfit.
It was hot. It was hot. You always like, did anyone ask you about the sweatshirt? He's like, nope, but I got a bunch of looks.
And then he goes viral the next day.
Yep, exactly.
Spotted at the airport. Well, congratulations to you, Ryan. If anybody else has other ideas for merch, just hit us up in the community or you can DM us on Instagram. We love any sayings that come from our listeners. So keep an eye out for even more new merch coming up. Again, that's dateablepodcast.com/shop. And for anybody in the sounding board, you can get discounts in our merch store. So what is the sounding board for anybody new or for if you need a refresher? So we have the Facebook group and then we have the sounding board and it's members only. And there are 3 tiers in the sounding board and you can find out all about it. I won't go into all the tiers here, but you can go to dateablepodcast.com/sounding board. And this has been a very unique community for us that formed out of COVID, believe it or not. We have these very intimate discussions. Every month we have an audio series, which is almost like an audio workbook of addressing like one issue that we deal with, especially when it comes to modern dating, but it's applicable to everything in life. There's discounts in the merch store. We have monthly events as well. And our monthly event this month is the Most Dateable competition. So anybody in the sounding board, that is your event this month. And if you choose, depending on which tier you choose, you could also do one-on-one coffee dates with Julie and I and shoot the ship. But it's all about you. So shoot the ship. I think I just said shoot the ship. Don't shoot the ship. Shoot the shit with Julie and I. And again, it's just up to you however you want to customize your subscription. It has been a very, like I use the word intimate quite a bit for that group because it is very intimate. We have these very like vulnerable discussions, believe it or not, with mere strangers that I feel like have become so close during this time. So if you're looking for extra support or extra voices, extra opinions, or just this idea of a community, a feeling of a virtual family, that's where you need to be as the sounding board.
Yeah, people have really said that has been like a game changer. Like I know Janice, our moderator, said she made a comment just like how much I freaking love everyone in here. And like this feels like actual friends. And I know Shieldy's actually trying to organize a get together where people actually meet in real life, pending COVID, of course. But there is like so much going on with that. And of course, if you do join now, you get to go to the event for free, which Yue mentioned. So if you've been kind of on the edge about joining and you're also like Most Dateable sounds really freaking awesome, maybe this is the time to give it a shot.
Yep. And if you are like, I'm so confused by everything that you guys just said, because that was a lot of information, just go to dateablepodcast.com/sounding board.
So shall we get into Logan?
Logan Yuri, let's hear from her.